that ability to leave work at work, or do you take it home with you?
I can leave anything, anywhere,
You can? Wow.
anytime.
Yeah.
I can, compartmentalize,
Wow, that's really
walk
good.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
Wow.
Easy.
So now with COVID, how has this changed? Because the kids are home.
The kids are
roles
home, and
kind of switched
I
a
love
little
it.
bit. Yeah.
So for me, I never really worked like full time, or I want to say a real job outside of the home. That's why I think that's why I can say, oh, it's like a break for me, or
Right.
because it's always like that's never been my main source of income or work. So I appreciate that time outside of the house. I never wanted to rely on that. I never wanted to be like, I have to punch a clock. I have to be here or there. I always worked like freelance. If I was outside the house, I'm an artist. I'm very, I guess, flighty, whatever you want to call it.
It's a word for it. It's called artistic.
Artistic. I will go with that.
Not autistic.
Yes. No, not
artistic. Yes.
So, being home and I always, made my schedule and my work around my kids, because I've always been a mom. Like I became a mom at 15. So, and 8 kids later, there's they are my world. They run my life. They are my boss.
Yeah.
It's not, so they determine what I can and cannot do and what my schedule is.
Right.
They determine.
So 100%. For you, it's family first and then the rest follows.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. And I do have an amazing partner too. So, and he's probably a better mom than I am.
Now, because you know what we forgot to cover? The ages of your children. Yeah.
So, my eldest is 26 and he is out on his own. He purchased an income property a few months back, so he's good. He's a really smart person. He's a really decent person. He's somebody that I always say that I'd be friends with him if I was not his mom.
Yeah.
Because he's such a cool person.
Yeah.
And that's Dario. Then the next is Ariana. She's 18. Of course, she turned 18 during this whole shutdown. Poor kid.
Yeah. And the big birthday too, 18.
I know. But that's all right.
Yeah.
She's doing all right. She's very helpful. She's very, very helpful. She's always been like another mom here in the house. And then Sarah is 15. She is very, very artistic, very talented. I think all my kids are really talented, but she can pretty much do anything that's artistic or expressive. And then she's pretty amazing. Then Brooke is 11. She just turned 11. She is a crazy little ball of energy and talent and fun, and she's witty. She does like video editing and stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness, Mike. I love these kids.
Wow.
I got a Kris Jenner these kids.
Yeah, you do.
I really do.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Then the next is Joey. He's 9. He'll be 10 next month. And he is so intelligent. He's like the quiet, smart guy,
Okay. Yeah.
And then we have Noah. He is 6. He'll be 7 this month. And he is another, I don't know, these kids are just amazing. But he can actually draw from memory and accurately.
Wow.
He's so impressive with his artwork. But man, I'll tell you, Noah, out of all of my kids, he gave me a run for my money when it came to parenting and motherhood, and he switched my perspective on parenting, on what I now realize how judgmental I was toward other parents and and parenting styles and discipline and everything, you name it. This kid has taught me how to reevaluate being a mom and approaching things differently.
Wow.
Because he is a different breed. He is cut from a different cloth, and then we've got two extras at the end. Hansel, who's 5, and I call him Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci. This kid, oh my goodness, he is small but mighty. He is, oh my goodness, he's witty, sarcastic. He's got a mouth on him.
Oh.
He's got it all. He's got it all.
Always looking shy when he's around, like shy kind of wave.
Yeah, it's an act. No. just don't mess with him. But yeah, he's like my little sidekick all the time. He's always with me.
Yeah.
And then my little princess baby is Jordan, and she is a year and a half now. Yeah. So she's super smart too. I mean, there's not too much I can tell anybody about a baby at that age, but she's I see a lot of scary times ahead with her because she's so smart.
Oh
she is
my
so
gosh!
Smart.
Oh.
Yeah.
All your kids are beautiful, and on top of that, I love the names that you got for them. Like, there's not a boring name in the group. You know what I mean? There's not a boring name in there. So, that's so awesome. Now, with COVID, do you find that you're more drawn to homeschooling? And then from homeschooling, because I saw that most parents now, some of them are like, I can't wait for school to get back going. And others are like, well, you know what? I think I want to spend more time cultivating because I see what my kids are learning and I want to be more involved in it. I want to have that control over that to kind of nurture them in that way. Is that something that you're looking to do as well once COVID starts, moving away?
Absolutely. So I actually wanted to homeschool before all of this COVID started. I homeschooled my first son until 7th grade. So, and then he went on to complete school and college and everything, no problem. So I've always had that in me. I want my kids close by because I feel like I, as a mom, know them and see and appreciate their talents and their interests much better than one person in front of 30 kids to try to pick up. And then I don't want them forced into any type of box, any type of system. I want them to be free thinkers and really choose or have a choice or have a say in their own education and what they're learning and what their interests are. And, it doesn't have to be so regimented. It can be fun. They can learn and, like you said, cultivate what they already have an interest in and what they're naturally talented in. Yeah. So that I just want them to be happy.
I so agree. My role was actually different as a mom when my kids were growing up. Now they're adults. I mean, they got kids of their own. They got relationships of their own, married, all of that. And so it's much different for me. But back when they were little, the roles were actually a little different on my end, trying to balance it. I didn't have a balance. And my mom actually was that balance for me. So I took more of the role of the father slash mom.
Provider.
But my mom was more of the nurturer.
Okay.
And I nurtured in a different way than how my mom did. I worked since I was 15. I got pregnant 15, had my son at 16. I've worked consistently since that time. And living out of state without my children, hard. But one thing that when my children were little, I immediately was in tune to what type of person that they were. I knew my children, you know, and I would say to my mom certain things like, Mom, don't do that with them because, you know, I already say, oh, but I know them. So my youngest son is extremely talented. He has a lot of me where I can pick something up and I can learn it and I can cultivate it and I can be really great at it. He's taught himself to play the piano when he was young, before he was even 12. He knows how to take apart computers, put them back together. He knows so much of everything, and it makes him bored because once he masters it, he moves on. I'm saying that's how I can get.
I can relate.
And so I think radio was the only thing that was my anchor. And with him, he's 26 going on 27, and I still try to direct him in a way where he's so smart he doesn't have to ever work for anybody. Like he does not. But just like him, I didn't come into my own until I was 26. And I got into radio and then I was like, all right, this is it. And it's so scary because he is so much like me to the point where he probably is like, my mom is so hard on me. No, I know him so well, you know? My oldest, I never really had to worry about because he was into cars. So when they were young, I would buy him stuff to cultivate that. It would be cars that he could build from scratch. Any type of car that he wanted. They had the little computers, VTech computers early, so that I wanted to make sure that they were very intelligent and very smart with it. And I wanted to show them that anything you want in this world, you can get. You have to work really hard for it, but you can achieve it. So on my end, that's how I cultivated my children. I always say that it was more of a one-sided. I don't feel like I had that balance because I wasn't the one every night putting them to bed. Because there was nights where I had to work overnight, you know what I mean? Or I couldn't pick them up from school because I worked an hour away and I had to be at work still. So it was a lot of that unbalance. But in the same sense, I think it was a balance because as them being older, we have a totally different relationship than... And it's probably the same that you have with your oldest because we were kids when we had them. And so with Islam and Abdul's just made 29. He is now a mechanic, like really working on cars for a business instead of, you know, like tinkering with it. He actually really stepped foot and was like, I'm going to follow. We have a different relationship now because they come to me more for their life guidance, where it's like, Mom, listen, this is such and such happening. And what do you think? Or, you know, and that is where I wanted to be with my children.
Yes. I think that's so special.
Yeah.
And I think honestly that's really, in my opinion, one of the most important aspects to a parent-child relationship is they trust you.
Right.
They trust you. You have not developed a relationship where you're judging or criticizing.
Oh, I do that too.
Instead, well, I mean,
my oldest son just got mad with me the other day.
But in a way, probably to keep them.
Yes.
To keep